What's up, everybody? Today is December 19th, 2025, and I am here with David Santiago on the Dattie podcast. What's up, Dave?
What up, Joey Dots? I made it, Mom. I made it. Listen. I'm gonna enjoy this moment, okay, Joey? You're not allowed to take it from me. I told myself when I make it onto the Joey Dots podcast, finally, I'm officially a successful SMP artist, and I'm here. I'm here, bro. I'm here.
Thanks for coming on. I had done Dave. So for those who don't know, Dave has Scalp Solutions podcast. Make sure you go check that out. And I was on Dave's podcast back in, I think it was April 2022,
Yes,
or maybe
sir.
March. Yeah. And if you want to check out that episode, check it out. But I would just want to say right from the beginning, Dave, you inspired me to do this podcast from watching you, talking with you, and seeing that it was possible. Really, what you showed me, that it was possible to not only do it in person, which I like to do if I can. Obviously, logistics play a role, but doing it virtually and it not sound like a Zoom call, like it's very realistic, like we're in the same room. So thank you.
For sure, brother. Appreciate you. One, thank you for having me on your platform, on your podcast. And yeah, man, I remember you actually gave me a really great interview. It was kind of like the first one that we got to see more than just the SMP side of things. You know, we kind of got really, really personal with it, which was good because I also changed the trajectory on how I interviewed artists after you. So thank you for that, brother.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to catch you off guard. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go for it. We'll see if he stops me from talking.
It was good. It was a good podcast, bro.
So, Dave, so before we started yesterday we were talking and you sent me a breakdown of what you can and cannot do. How did you end up there?
So dig. This is good. It's a great way to I can't ask you those questions, but hey, how do we know?
What is your
This is great.
political view, Dave?
Yeah. How do you feel about do you take these pills? So, okay, here's in a nutshell, right? You end up evolving into something in the business side of things that you have to now start being very careful with what you put yourself into. So whether it be questions, you know, certain rooms, just different positions. And that's what I've been able to evolve my name and the brand to. And it took some very some hard learning lessons to have to put something like that in play that I had to send out to you. You know, like I've been put in a position where I've been asked a very uncomfortable question that had absolutely nothing to do with the nature of the conversation. But here I am, I have to represent myself and give an answer that I think is politically correct and then have that turn around and bite me in the ass. And not only that, but also get into the ears of some businesses that I'm collaborating and partnering with, and almost even losing some of the partnerships because I gave my opinion. You know, I didn't like that because, you know, I'm a veteran just like you. And if there's something that we fought for, is for us to be able to express our freaking opinion freely and not worry about some ASS hole judging me because I fought for it. So now you get emails the way that you did, you know, steering you clear from certain topics that I don't want to talk about, whether they be political, religious, and then, you know, sometimes there's always about the money. And in this industry, everybody wants to talk about money. And hey, that's cool. It's just, hey, man, you don't need to know how much money I got. Just know I'm doing good. My rent's paid and I got food on my table.
Yeah, no, I agree, and I understand. When you have sponsors, you don't want to lose the sponsors, and you don't want to say something that will contradict or go against their branding. So you got to kind of play in those within those parameters to keep them happy and help push whatever brand they have, keep pushing it forward. I get
Yeah,
it. I
exactly.
get
I
it.
mean, and it's not a bad thing. I mean, I think everyone at some point should strive to get there, but you have to understand that as you grow and develop, whether it be in this industry or in anyone, especially if you want to be creating content and be on social media, at some point you're going to be met with, you know, some of these stipulations, and that's part of the game.
It really is. You're shop is what, about 2 hours north of the city of New York? Is that where it is?
It's an hour and 15 minutes if you're driving, is an hour and 28 minutes if you're taking the Metro North Railroad, which is the
Oh,
train.
okay. And that's Carmel, New York, and it's right outside Danbury, Connecticut. That is that right?
It borders Danbury, Connecticut. Yeah. But it's
Do
right
you
above Westchester County.
Is that where a lot? Because I'm not from the city of New York, but I know like a lot of people will move outside the city. They move to Connecticut, so I've heard, and like I guess the area that you're in, is that what you see?
Yeah, this is where they start seeking some refuge from from the city a little more. They want to be around more civilization, so they'll come here, Putnam County, or they'll go up. You got Orange County, Ulster County, and you also get the better bang for your buck.
Does the prices go down compared to the city as you move north?
It does, absolutely, but that's also changed a lot significantly after COVID because so many people wanted to leave the city and come up here. So obviously that increased, real estate value. I mean, think about it. My house now, I can almost put it on the market for double the value now. And that's like at a starting, and that'll throw it into a what do they call it when they like a bid, that'll throw it into a bid, like it'll start a
Bidding
bidding
war.
war, right? Even if I put it at this, if all right, I want 750,000, like people are gonna, all right, I'll give you 760, 780. It'll start that. So yeah.
Yeah, same, same. And I get it. During COVID, I think a lot of people realized, hey, I live around a lot of people, which is probably the worst spot you want to be in if there is an infectious disease or if pretty much any crazy scenario happens. You want to be around the least amount of people as possible.
Exactly. So you come to the woods where you have some distance. Everyone here has a shotgun or a rifle, so you can defend yourself for when the zombie apocalypse happen. But
Oh
not
yeah.
only that, too, things that laws in the city, they're a little different too. They're a little crazy
How
depending
long?
on.
How long have you been up there?
I'm going on 14 years. 14 years.
So is that where you've raised your family? They all that's what they
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
Okay.
that my daughters only know not that they only know it, like they're familiar. I've every now and then, I take them down into the city to show them, where I grew up at so that they understand what it is that they have and they can appreciate the quality of life that I provide for them. But for the most part, they just know the mean streets of Carmel. They don't know the mean streets of the South Bronx. They don't know it.
I, I think it's important you bring them down there to show them where you're from and maybe where you grew up, maybe the
Yeah.
building you were in, that sort of
Yeah,
thing.
absolutely. I love showing it to them because when you raise your kids and you give them everything that you didn't have, sometimes they could become a
Spoiled.
little entitled and spoiled, and they don't
Uh,
realize like, hey, I'm giving you this because I didn't have it growing up. So I like to remind them like, well, this is where Daddy and Grandma lived by ourselves in this project right here, and yeah, why, Daddy? Why is all the trash bags outside? Like, this is it. This was the culture.
Wild. And I'm happy for you getting out of that, lifestyle. Are you allowed to, per the contract agreements, are you allowed to talk about I'm half
This
joking.
is gonna be great per
Are
the
you
contract.
allowed to talk about kind of where you grew up and how
Yes,
you
of course, absolutely.
started your first career? Because Dave is a man of many talents. He's different businesses. Could you go into that?
Yeah, of course. So, born and raised in the South Bronx, I lived there for 27 years. My very first hustle was cutting hair. I'm still to this day a licensed master barber with over 22 years of experience as a barber. That doesn't mean 22 years of experience as an artist. I know some of these barbers come into the SMP game and be like 20 plus years of experience. No, guy, you're a barber. Got 2 years experience of SMP. Anyway, let's not go on a rant, right?
Yeah.
I started as a barber. That was always my main hustle, my first hustle. Then I joined the Marine Corps when I was 19, spent 14 years in the Marine Corps, still was cutting hair there. While I was in the Marine Corps as well, too, I got out to the reserves. I became a police officer in 2007. And then I retired in January 15th of this year, 2025. So,
Congratulations.
yes, thank you, sir. So that's always been as far as like an actual career, like me responding to someone, having a boss. And then I started a logistics company few years ago, transportation company working with 18 wheelers. And then we also started the dispatching company that kind of fed the trucking company, which is the equivalent of an airplane and air traffic control. So I had that, but for transportation and logistics, which is essentially 18 wheeler trucks delivering, throughout the entire country, whether regional or over the road.
Were you finding the loads yourself, or how did that work?
Yeah, so I started my own dispatching company. So as a dispatcher, you literally, that's your primary focus, is to go into the database and you look at all the companies that have cargo that needs to be shipped, and you just, you do the math. Is this worth my while? These all right, Kraft macaroni and cheese. I mean, well, not Kraft. Kraft wants you to do 36 pallets of macaroni and cheese from Connecticut to Florida, and they're giving you $5,300. So you got to look at that, calculate what is going to cost your driver, gas, XYZ, and then if the end number is worth your while, then you send that job. You put in for that job and give it to the dispatch it over to your driver.
And then they need a backhaul, right?
And then right, and then that's where strategy comes in too, right? Because as the dispatcher, you can't just go, oh, this is an amazing load. We're gonna go from New York to Florida, and we're gonna make $5,300. Then it's like, okay, well, you got to get that truck back up. So are you gonna now you're wasting gas coming all the way back up, gas tolls, the driver. So now you got to find something in between as well. So maybe you can bring something back up to New York, or maybe you could stop midway, maybe somewhere in Georgia, somewhere Delaware. So yeah, it becomes all just like anything else, it becomes strategy. So for the beginning, yes, I did that on my own. And then I was able to train someone to do that. And then it just became self sufficient where I was able to
Did you have a CDL, or you're saying doing all the dispatching yourself?
So the dispatching myself. So CDO, no, I had a CDO while I was in the military. When I came out, New York of all states was the only one that wouldn't let you carry over your military CDO into an actual civilian CDO. But I do know how to operate the trucks.
Okay.
But I'm not, you know what? I'm not in the game anymore. So I did. There were times that, you buy a truck, you don't have a driver to come get it for you. I was like, man, F that, bro. Like, drive that bad boy back down to New York.
Fun fact, we also have this in common. So we both do SMP, we both podcast, we both were in the military. I also had a trucking company for 2 years, but mine
That's
was
awesome.
I was working for this engineering company, and I didn't know how to drive it. I bought a 25-foot stake body flatbed, and basically, when we would bring material down to job sites, they'd break it, so they'd need like 2 or 3 rebars sent that are 30-foot long, 1 inch in diameter, and they would pay a
That's way long.
premium. And I my boss was cool with it. He would let me literally mark up the price because they need it next day, and we'd load up like 3 bars on there, less than
Easy
100
money.
pounds. Yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. And
Yeah.
that, but I never learned how to drive the truck. In fact, I was scared to, because I was, I didn't want to have to I didn't want to have to pay for a new clutch. You know what I mean?
Because you was gonna be burned. But you know what? Now the new trucks, they're automatic. A lot of them are automatic. You literally just tap, drive or
Really?
reverse. Yeah, bro. Yeah. Yeah.
What?
The game has changed. They even have Tesla trucks.
I've seen the non-drivers, the ones with no driver.
Yeah, they have Tesla trucks, man. Like everything now is automatic. So it's like dudes like me and you who were in the beginning, we were like, we're gonna burn this clutch, and these things are expensive as hell to replace. Brother, now you jump in the truck, you hit drive, you got neutral, reverse, bro, you're good. That's it.
Yeah, yeah.
Times
Yeah, I
times is
never got
changing.
one of those. My truck was yeah. I had one of the trucks where you lift up the top and the engine was underneath.
Oh, so you had a
It
flat
was like a flat
a
face.
flat
It was a
nose.
GMC, and yeah, you lift it up.
Yeah, no. So they still, for the most part, all do that now too. The front
Okay.
nose, you gotta lift them up to get into the engine. Yeah.
There's definitely money to be made in the logistics business, but it's stressful, dude. It's
Yeah.
stressful.
It's
Mainly
just
driver
like any
problems, which was my brother. Shout out to my brother.
driving problem. Driving problems are like gonna be the number one thing, and the stuff with it. So when I was doing it at the time, the drivers, you were giving them like 25% of the
The load.
bag.
Yeah.
Right. So the thing with these drivers, right? They're so easily influenced. They could be at a gas station, right? Fueling up. And then they'll see another driver, and the driver, let's just say, has a hat that says Scalp Solutions and a jacket that says Scalp Solutions Trucking. And then the guy goes, "Yo, who's that you work for?" "Oh, I work for this kid. He's independent. His name is David Santiago at Scalp Solutions." "How much Scalp Solutions is paying you?" "Oh, they give me 26%. And they give me this coat and they give me the hat." you know? And the driver will go, "Oh shit. Yeah, man, I'm gonna go work for him." And they'll leave for a 1% difference, man. Like it's crazy. So like when you have a driver, like when I tell you, like you really got to take care of them, which listen, you should be doing that anyway. But I'm just saying that the game is crazy, especially when it comes to the drivers, because these guys will jump around. It's no different than the barbering world, bro. You can have a barber doing his thing in one barbershop, and now you, as the barbershop owner, you got to tell him, "Hey, Joey, stop coming in late, man. Clients are waiting for you." And then goes, "Man, you know what? Fuck Joey, man. I don't like the way he spoke to me. I'm going to the barbershop across the street." That's what drivers in the logistic world do.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I experience like I paid for my brother to get his CDL and hiring family doesn't always work very well, I'll say. They want a
So
little bit more. They want a little bit more. They don't realize
yeah,
it's a business as well.
yeah. My dad tried to pull that stunt on me. I was like, you know what? You stay in the company you work for. He was like, if I work for you, I want 35%. I was like, what the like? How much are you getting now? "Oh, they give me 23%. Well, why the hell would you expect me to give you 35% if you're working for like a Fortune 500 company and they're paying you that? Like, we could have met somewhere like at 25 or 27, but no, you want 35%. And I'm assuming all of the liability, you know what I mean? The truck breaks down, I got to pay for that, wheels, gas. I literally have to, I'm assuming
Insurance.
all that response. Yeah, insurance, which was like for fucking one truck,
It's
I
a
think I was
lot.
paying like 21,000.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I think my insurance would cost more than the truck payment. In
Yeah,
fact, I
oh,
know it did.
definitely. Yeah, my first truck I paid 33,000 cash. That first year, my insurance was like 23,000.
Yeah, it's wild. And I
Insane.
get why because because of whatever you're hauling, and I get that, but damn, it's a big expense.
You know what? I tell you what, let's kind of transition it over. It's kind of like SMP, right? In SMP, they know we're charging good money to get the procedures done. So now what do they do with the products they offer us? They go, "Oh, let's bump it up." That's the transportation and legit. That's every industry for the most part. So there's like, all right, we're gonna bump this up. These guys are making anywhere from $20,000 to $30,000 a month. Anyway, let's bump the insurance up because they need it. Just like let's bump up the prices on these needles. Why? They need it.
Yeah, supply and demand, right?
That's
How
how it works. Supply and demand. Welcome to America.
when did you, get into SMP and how did you get in? So you were doing the barbering and you were a cop. You became an SMP artist while still a cop, right?
I did, yeah. So my introduction into the hair loss industry was 4 years, 3 years prior to me even learning anything about SMP because I was installing hair systems. So as a barber, as a licensed barber, I was also installing hair systems. So I had a little over 20 clients like on rotation. Then when my hairline started receding to the point where I was like, now I'm starting to develop somewhat of a complex and I need to do something about it. I started doing my research and I was like, all right, I'm not gonna get a hair transplant because I wear my hair short anyway. Like it literally was like that my entire life. And then because of the Marine Corps, like that's just the look I enjoyed. And then I was like, I'm also not wearing one of these damn wigs that I put that I put
Yeah.
on dudes because I deal with it. I see the maintenance, everything that goes. I hear the stories. Oh, I was having sex and my shit fell off. I went into the pool.
Uh,
I was like, I don't want to be one of those statistics, and I never won't allow that to happen. And then I came across SMP and I started doing my research on that. I went and got it done. And after I completed my first session, like I already knew, I was like, this is something that I'm going to implement into my workload already because I was like I said, I was doing the hair systems and I was also very big on the enhancements. You know, I was doing
Topics.
spray hair fibers, dyes, and all that stuff already to try to conceal some of the balding that some of my clients were experiencing. So I already knew I was like, hey, I already have a demand for this. I'm gonna take it. That's just one more tool in the arsenal, and made it happen. I went 2017.
What's up, SMP world? It's Chris with the Blends Protein. A lot of people are switching over to our products. The most realistic results are being put out using Blends products. These products were made for artists by artists. We want to make you a believer. Here's 20% off your first purchase. Use Dattie podcast. Blends for the most natural results in the world.
Okay. Who did your SMP at first?
One. Oh, so
Juan did? Okay.
my first session was Picasso. Jeff
Okay.
Picasso did my first session.
You did that in New York, or where'd you go to get that done?
So I went to Connecticut because at the time Picasso was offering his fundamentals training in Connecticut because the Connecticut Barber Expo was going on.
Oh, okay.
So he was one of the vendors there. So I saw he was doing the training. So I went, I signed up, I did the training. But I also had him do my first session. So
Were you a
he was
model?
hell no.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Hell no. I already listen. He asked. He did ask me. He asked me. He was like, "Yo, bro, if you a model, I'll give you a discount, bro, or I'll give it to you for free." So I was like, "Model? Like, what does that mean? Like, I'm gonna have your students like in my class
Practice on me?
working on me, like practicing on me?" And he goes, "Yeah, man, but I finished it up." I was like, "Nah, I'm good, bro." I was
Smart
like,
move.
yeah. I was like, I know how this is gonna turn out, guy. Like, I'm good. So no, I was not the model. He just worked on me himself. And then I knew he was going back to Chicago. So I was like, man, I need to figure out who's going to finish my sessions in the time in between. And then that's when I found out about Jero Hair Inc. Because after I got the training is when I started really deep diving into seeing the business and who's successful. Like I didn't know about Jonathan, I didn't know about Matt, I didn't know that anyone in New York was even doing it. I got the procedure done and took the training, and then I started looking like, oh, who's doing this in my area? So Juan, I reached out. They had Juan do my next session, and I was just like, all right, you gonna finish it up for me? And then that also was like the beginning of the relationship, with building a relationship with them as well, all three of them.
Nice, nice. I've actually had somebody show me a picture of you and say, I like how his looks. They like how light it was and how it kind of blended over. They've sent me a picture of you before.
Yeah, nice. I get it all the time. I get it all the time when they come here. They was like, I want mine to look like yours, which is great because we already know what's on the other side of that, right? They could bring you some botched shit and they're like, I want it like this. And you're like, that's not good, bro.
Yeah.
That's not good. So yeah,
I
I
know.
like how mine is. I wouldn't want it any darker. I do have some artists that be like, yo, Dave, let me do your touch up. Like, bro, back up.
Some people want it dark, but yeah, I think a lot of it now that SMP's been around a little bit long, I'd say a solid decade, like a solid decade. A lot of people have had it. We're seeing the results after 10 years, and I think a lot of people are leaning more towards the light in the beginning because you got
Yeah.
to make room for touch ups.
Yeah. Clients are definitely much smarter now. They're much more, they're better advised. They're better advised.
Yeah, because I mean, there's just a lot more information out since the beginning as well, right?
That is true. And a lot more botched work too, to be honest.
Why do you think that is? The more botched work.
I think in the beginning, and I'm only saying in the beginning, I don't know if it's still a problem now. I just stopped even caring and looking for it. In the beginning, the way this was proposed to us was like, this was easy, easy money, easy technique. All you're doing is dots. And in return, you're going to make $3,000, $4,000. Right.
Yeah.
That's how it was. Cause we kind of came up together. You were sold the dream too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then you realize like, oh no, this is just like any other job or career that I want. I got to put the reps in. Oh shit. But some people were just like, you know what? F that. They said it was easy. It is easy. I'm just going to take a client and tell them I've been doing this for 10 years and do what I got to do and really not care. And Now we got a bunch of botch jobs. But we also have trainers that do botch work and just think their shit is good. And now they're just receiving and passing of information onto the next guy. Hey, this is what it's supposed to look like. So I think essentially that's what it is. It was just made, it was sold to us like something that was cookie cutter and very easy. And now we
I
have
agree. I
all these
agree.
helmet heads.
Yeah, and I don't I feel like a lot of people, like what you were saying, they'll get into it thinking it's easy and it's quick money, and so they'll learn it, but then there's a lot more effort that needs to go on behind the scenes. One, to improve your skill, but then two, to actually make the sales and bring people in.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many underlying formalities that you need to know just on a business level before you take on any or open any door, let alone SMP. You know, like, do you even know how to, can you even talk? Can you sell? And I hate hearing artists go, oh, you're an artist, you're not a salesman. No bullshit, bro. You started a business, you have to be a salesman. You
Agreed.
have to. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of underlying things that need to be met and you got to be proficient at before you go, all right, now I'm ready to learn the technique so I can introduce myself to the world and let them know what it is that I do. Or you end up just saying, oh, all right, I'm just going to go to a marketing agency and they're going to perform some magical stuff for me. No, that doesn't work either. We see that all the time too.
Yeah, unfortunately, I've been taken advantage of. Like many people who are listening, I think it might be a rite of passage at this point to become an SMP artist and get fucked over with
You got
marketing.
to get, yeah, you got to get, listen, if you become an SMP artist and you don't think you ain't going to get boinked in the butt at least once,
Yeah.
it's coming. If it hasn't happened, listen, it's
Yeah.
coming.
You're gonna
It's
get
coming.
sold some marketing campaign strategy that's you're just not
Yeah.
gonna be happy with.
At some point, you're gonna get it. I mean, even with the marketing though, too, right, Joey? Like, can you really put that all on the marketing agency? Not
No,
really,
I
because
don't blame them, completely.
yeah, it's our own ignorance too, because we don't really fully understand what the marketing agency is responsible for. Like, we have to have certain things established before we can make that phone call and go, hey, I already have good organic content that's converting. Can you now take this, create a process, and help me take it to the next level? We're not doing that because we're so desperate. We're like, fuck that. We want to make this money. Hey, bro, I got 2, 3 before and afters, create a nice campaign for me and promise me those 16 leads you gave me. All right. And then you do get the 16 leads, but now you don't know how to close because you don't know how to conduct a consultation over the phone,
Or they're bullshit leads, right?
or they're bullshit leads. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
but it is no different. And I'm not saying that I always, when I kind of go off on stuff like that can happen to us in the industry, is no different than any other industry. Like, listen, it's business. Everybody gets, pimp slap every now and then. Doesn't matter. Trucking, SMP, barbering, traditional tattooing, technology, AI, whatever it is.
Yeah, it's almost like you have to micromanage people you hire. I mean, I'm experiencing now going to my doctor, just a little personal information. I'm going to the doctor and they forget to put my correct address. They had my address from 2011. This just happened to me yesterday. 2011 on the script. So then when I go to the actual pharmacy, they're not going to fill it. So then you have to call them to switch it. I'm like, why do you? And then you have to keep following up. It's like, why do I always have to micromanage everything I do? You ever feel
Yeah,
that way?
literally, that's my day to day.
What do you in your early days in SMP, what was one of the hardest things for you to learn and figure out?
Oh, fuck, bro. SMP is not a tattoo.
Yeah.
Oh, bro, that was a big battle for me. Um, I'm very, very conflicting. And actually, my most recent podcast that's out right now, I talk about that. And I'm just talking about the verbiage, right? The proper verbiage, when to use it, when not to use it, and then the reality of it. Like, what is it really? Um, Brother, that was the most difficult thing for me because in the beginning, when you come in, right, and you're a sponge and everyone's telling you these are the people that you need to follow because they're the industry leaders, right? They're the gatekeepers. And if you satisfy them, you'll get invited to their shows, they'll give you awards, blah, 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 blah. And then again, remember, now I'm a police officer, right? I'm also in an investigative position where it's like, bro, we ask questions, we research, we ask our questions. And when you're told certain things that just don't make sense, and then they tell you, hey, you shouldn't be saying that, it's going to cost you business. Don't say it's a hair loss tattoo. It's not a hair loss tattoo. This is nothing like a tattoo. And then you're like, but what the fuck, bro? Yes, it is.
Mhm.
And then you have friends and family that are in the tattoo industry, and you're starting to develop relationships with them. So now you're asking them and you're reading this to them, and they're like, what the fuck? That just sounds crazy. So in the beginning, me putting out that what I'm doing was a hair loss tattoo, I had a lot of OGs who are now good friends that were like, how is this kid doing? This kid is retarded. You know what I mean? Like, what the hell is wrong with him? You're gonna ruin your reputation, XYZ. Which for me, I was always like, I'm not trying to build a reputation in the industry. I'm trying to get some freaking clients, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I
Yeah.
want clients, not SMP friends. And I'm not saying that in a bad way. I appreciate and I adore the friendships that I have, but I'm just saying that wasn't my main focus. Like, I wanted to get clients. So
Yeah, I
to
mean,
answer
they're
your-
not bad. The friendships aren't going to pay your bills.
exactly. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, that was the hardest part, bro, was the verbiage of putting it out there.
I still kind of not struggle with it. I obviously it's a tattoo, but I it depends who you're talking to. Sometimes they
Correct.
don't want to hear that it's a tattoo.
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
go. It's a cosmetic tattoo
Perfect. That's perfect. But
because it
are you,
is. I
it
mean,
is. I mean, it is, right? But it is a tattoo. But yeah, okay, for us, listen, and like I say, for marketing purposes, and you want to change the verbiage, that's fine. There's a difference between changing the verbiage because of marketing purposes. I mean, obviously, you also don't want to lie, but then there's also being delusional when you're like, no, it's not. This is a medical procedure. And it's like, what? What do you mean it's a medical procedure? And it's like, hey, I get it. You wear scrubs. It looks good. The people that come to you associate you with that. That's how you differentiate or associate yourself with your level of professionalism. And it works. That's great. No one's against that. But you're not going to put a Superman cape on and tell me that you're Superman. So don't you wear the scrubs. Of course, it looks great. It looks clean. It lets the people know, wow, this guy's, that's fine. But now you want to go around and say this is a medical procedure, and you, the only thing behind you fucking says Jero Hair Inc. Fundamental 3-day training. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Where's your med school degree?
Like, where's the med school degree? You know what I mean? Show me something. So, like, that's where I draw the line. So for me, that was in the beginning, and then definitely finding my identity. Because in the beginning, I was also told, yo, you should wear scrubs, man. This is what you do. You really want to sell this, you have to wear scrubs. So what do? I wear scrubs.
Were you
I
scrubbing
put
it for a little bit?
I have 2 pictures of me in scrubs, brother. And let
Okay.
me tell you, I was very uncomfortable because I was like, listen, what they're telling me is being professional. I don't identify with, because I never believed that, because look at how I am. I see how I am. And you're going to tell me that I'm not a professional, but me and you don't have the same things. We don't got the same bank accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
Yeah.
you're a professional and this is what you do, but you're not really that successful. And because of the way I look, you're going to tell me that I'm not as successful, but look what I've built. So I was wearing the scrubs and I was like, this doesn't feel right, bro. Like, this is not me. I like to be funny. I'm a goofball just like you, right? We like to be ourselves. We don't give a shit what anybody says. Look at these grown ass men dancing. I don't care. This is who I am. So, but then I was also like, man, I kind of want to be accepted too. So I'm going to have to rock out. So that was a battle for like the first year. And then after that, I was like, man, F this. I'm just buying blank black shirts. I'm putting Scout Solutions on them. I'm wearing my hat. This is who I am. I'm dope. Do you want me to lace you up? There you go. Let's do it.
Yeah,
That
no, we
was
were
it.
talking offline. I admire that you're able to wear the consistent black look, the black hoodie or black t-shirt with the black hat. I mean, it just makes life easier, right?
I tell you, like I was telling you, it's the easiest. It's the best decision I feel like I've made as an entrepreneur, as a businessman, because I don't have to worry about anything, bro. I have 5 black sweaters, 5 black. I just pick them up, whatever I want. I already know this is it. As long as I know I washed my ass and my clothes are clean, I really don't care. I don't
Yeah.
care. I got the same hats. I buy, I sent to make like 50 of them, and then like every month I look at it. Hey, is this one still in good shape? If it's not, I give it to my daughters. They go, they play with it. I throw on another one. I'm the last thing I'm worrying about is someone telling me, hey, are you wearing the same clothes you had from yesterday?
And it should be that way. It shouldn't really matter. And for those listening, there's nothing wrong with wearing scrubs. That's Dave's choice because I wear scrubs. Dave knows I wear
Right. So
scrubs.
it's not, and I say it's not like, so, I know people like to take it out of context.
Your philosophy on the black wearing the all black, that's my philosophy with the scrubs is I
Yeah.
by wearing scrubs, I don't have to think about it. And also, honestly, I think I could make most of my sales, but there are some I'd say with like the older people, I get a lot for some reason I get a lot of people in their 70s. And I think
It's
it makes
awesome.
them feel a little more comfortable with it because actually, I've had a few that say, "Hey, I saw this other guy's video. He's in like a tank top or he's in a t-shirt." I swear to God, they said it to me. I like that you're wearing scrubs. I was like, "Okay,
Yeah.
yeah." I
And
mean,
listen, but that's great. You're
yeah,
leveraging that, and that's not a problem. I will never ever have a problem with it. It's just for me, that's not what I identified as. Like, I want someone to come to me because they're accepting of, hey, this is how he is. He's wild. He's funny. He says crazy stuff every now and then. He curses. Oh, he makes milky coffee. Let's bring him coffee. Like that.
yeah.
That's me. What I have a problem with, like I said, is when it becomes delusional. Where now because you're wearing scrubs, you're going around saying
You're a
this is
doctor.
a medical procedure. Yeah, I'm a doctor.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you're
bro,
right. You're right. You're
cut it
right.
out. Yeah, I don't have anything against how anybody dresses. Like, do your thing, bro. If that's how you make your business, that's how you put food on the table. Hey, more power to you, bro. But now, don't go around saying you're a doctor because we're gonna talk about it on my podcast. I don't care.
Oh, I would leverage if I was a female, I would leverage it. I would have so much cleavage showing,
Oh,
because I
bro,
think it'd be good for marketing.
oh, come on, bro. I mean, listen, that's a gimme. Sex sells. It's
It
not
really
two sided.
does.
It's just not two sided. You know what I mean? Like, I can't come in with like booty shorts and expect someone to go like, "Damn, look at those cheeks." Yeah, I'm signing up. No,
A few
that's not.
people might. A few
Actually,
people.
maybe it depends. It depends. Might be a gay client. Go, yeah, those are some nice Puerto Rican cheeks. Yeah, let's sign up, bro.
What do you think separates a high-level SMP artist or PMU artist from the rest of the crowd? You've talked to so many.
Simple. One does it. One doesn't do it. One is an artist. One is only a trainer. And I don't care how anybody takes that. Who it offends, because if you're only a trainer, you ain't a high level nothing. You're a high level trainer. You're not a high level artist. We already know who only sticks to training. Artists that don't do heads.
Mhm.
I'm proof of that shit, bro. I say it all the time. When they like, oh, why don't you do trainings? I'm like, bro, I don't need to do that shit, bro. I'm out here. I'm winning.
Yeah.
Why?
Agreed.
Why would I want to take on, Joey? You've done some trainings, bro. Why would you want to take on the responsibility of having to bring someone up under your wing? All those questions that you're going to be asked, brother. That shit is overwhelming, bro.
It is, and it's, while you could have a nice payday for, I guess, that week, to me,
Yeah,
I have a high circulation of clients where it actually throws me off. So when I do those
yeah,
trainings, those 3 or 4 days, I have to block those out. I can't really work on anybody that I've been working on. So it messes me up a little bit, messes up my
yeah. No, it
flow.
does. It throws you off. Now, listen, there are a couple. Don't get it twisted. There are a couple out there that they're still, they're slanging hairlines and they're doing training. Hey, more power to you. But all I'm trying to say is, what I feel the difference between a top tier artist and what is just one that's actually doing the work and has the longevity, has been doing it for years, opposed to, I don't give a shit if you just been training for 2 years and you're doing 2 classes a month. That don't mean shit to me. That don't mean you a dope artist. You just a dope con artist.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Uh, I mean,
Did
Yeah.
that answer your question, or were you
Yeah.
looking for a
Yeah.
little more
Yeah. No,
substance?
that
All right.
that makes sense.
Big news for the SMP world. Follicule has just dropped their new scalp pigment. It's bigger, better, and made with Hanafi Color Pigments, one of the largest pigment manufacturers in the world. Not only is this pigment backed by world-class expertise, but they are giving you more of what you need. That's right. Their new, bigger bottles mean you have enough pigment to do 20 to 25 sessions in just one bottle. And because you're part of the Daddy podcast community, we're offering you an exclusive deal. 15% off all pigments and aftercare products when you use the code DADDY at checkout. Take your SMP game to the next level with Follicule Pigments. Go to the Follicule website. Get it now.
I mean, education is a big part of it. What gaps do you see in the training? What do you see like is wrong with a lot of some of these trainings?
The artists that are putting themselves in the teaching position don't even have the credibility. They don't have the leg to stand on. They don't have the experience. Some of these cats don't even have 100 clients, not 100 sessions, 100 clients, which should equate to somewhere around 300,
The
depending on, because
400
sometimes
sessions.
they
Yeah.
come back for the
Yeah.
fourth, because you gotta do the right thing. All right, anywhere from 300 to 400 sessions, and now they go, you know what? I did 5 of these. They came out fire. I'm going to put myself in this position where I'm going to lead, guide, and instruct and move the industry forward. Bro, you haven't dealt with all the different types of skin conditions or the different types of underlying hair loss conditions that can come to, can I do SMP on them? Can I? Scarring, burns. You just did, even if you just only done 75 hard hairlines, that does not mean you're ready to put yourself in the teaching capacity, because we all know there's more than just hard hairlines. But you'll have a trainer who goes, well, yeah, I did 75 of these shits, I've been doing 5 a month. Okay, but you really just gonna teach people how to do hard hairlines? And that's is happening. You know what I'm
There's a
saying?
demographic for it for some people. It's just like if I'm a customer though and I'm shopping around, if I see someone's only doing hard hairlines and I want a soft hairline, I'm just not going to go to that person. You would think,
Okay,
right?
but I mean, you would want to be all right. So now
I'd want
you
to
got,
learn both. To your point, I'd want to learn both.
as a business person, you would want to learn, you want to be well rounded. You're not going to open a grocery store and only know how to sell potato chips, but you got ice cream, watermelon. No, you need to be familiarize yourself with all the possibilities you have. Why? Because now you've just opened more doors. Now you put yourself in a position to be even more successful. But that's not what's happening here.
I agree. I agree. And I've thought about this in so many ways and I've talked about this. I don't see the opportunity really like a tattoo mentorship for 6 months with SMP really, especially when it's a grown up who already has bills and responsibilities, to shadow someone every day, uh, to see their work, to get better. I'm sure there are instances where you can do that, but a lot of this is just learning on your own, you know, by
Yeah, for
yourself.
sure. I mean, listen, yes, but you could also do you can do your due diligence as well too. Because when I was coming up, what did I did? I reached out. The only difference between my reaching out and a lot of the reaching out that's done now, I see it all day, every day on my DMs. People just expect you to give away free information, which I love doing, but to a certain extent, right? There's only so much I can give of myself. I never just looked for free. I was like, who's dope? Okay, Joey's dope. Where's Joey in Delaware? Let me reach. Hey, Joey, listen, how much would it cost for XYZ amount of your time? Because I was like, I want to be good. I want to be great. And that's what I did. I reached out to Juan. I reached out to everyone. Here's how much I got. Here's how much I got. What can you do? I want to learn this. I want to learn this. I never just like, hey, Joey, your podcast setup is amazing. Can I just go down there and see how you run it? No, hey, Joey, if I give you $1,000, you mind, teaching me how to set up the podcast, right? Because I'm also incentivizing you too. And I'm being respectful of your time, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That
agreed.
that that's not what happens now, and you have to do that. Or you can try and learn it on your own. Yeah, that's great. You can. Can you be a dope SMP artist by learning it and YouTubing it? Of course, you can. But why would you want to go that route when there's ways to learn from someone who actually knows what they're doing? You just gotta, you got to be able to invest in yourself. Some people don't believe in that. They don't want to keep, oh, I already spent $3,500. Well, what else am I gonna, bro? What? $3,500? That's peanuts. You just bought a ticket to the freaking show.
Yeah, just an introduction, really. I agree.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
can
You
learn
just
something from everybody, to be honest. I've learned something from different artists. I've trained with at least 6 people, and I've
bro.
learned something
Of
from everybody.
course. I still to this day, sometimes depending on the artist that I talk to, they have different systems in place. And I'm like, oh shit, I never knew that. Especially now that I got access to more tattooers. And I even asked them different skin conditionings. What do you do with this ink? Pardon me. What about this needle? And they're telling me, like, oh, I do dot work. Well, why don't you try when you do an impression, try to bring it in like this. I know you want to go 90 degrees, but if you slightly cant it, it'll still create a nice dense. And I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know that. I'm still learning to this day. I'm gonna always be a student to the game.
Yeah, I agree. Are you willing to share any of some of your favorite artists that are like not you that you kind of admire?
In SMP,
Yeah.
when I give you these names, this is not just that I appreciate them as artists alone. I'm talking about like just how they conduct themselves, their brand, and their artwork. Because there's a couple of really good SMP artists that they're fucking douchebags. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah.
So then for me, like I can't, you know what I'm saying?
Sorry, I'm a
It's like,
douchebag. Just
yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I've been doing this. I'm really good at SMP, and treat me like I'm some fucking Hollywood celebrity. Like, bro, shut the fuck up, bro.
yeah.
So I can't. All right. So what we doing? What you want? Just
I
men,
just want some of
female?
yeah, whoever's some of your favorite artists or ones that you're like, man, this guy's a fucking beast.
I always admired Juan Collado. I
Shout out to
came up
Juan.
under him. Juan taught me a lot. I'm in the position where I'm at right now because of a lot of knowledge that I got from Juan. Jonathan Giroux. Jonathan, I learned a lot from Jonathan as well. Matt Aiulo. Matt, because the way he was able to, there's you have some corny players in the industry. Matt was like the polished one. You know what I mean? Like, hey, this is how you should behave. Like we knew if you understood business, like you knew, like, all right, he's gonna be the one to probably help take this to a whole, other level. You know what I mean?
I agree. I think Matt Aiulo is probably the single most well-rounded person in SMP,
Yeah,
in the
yeah,
whole
for sure.
industry.
Yeah, yeah, for
Like
sure. Hands down.
globally. I'm talking globally.
Yeah, yeah, hands down. So you got him. So it's Juan, Jonathan, Matt, definitely Eric, because Eric was the first barber to really introduce this. So he kind of gave us all hope. On the female side, Lana Miller, she was like fucking her density game. She was crushing that when no one was even touching them. You know what I mean? Who else is a really dope uh female artist that I like? You know what? How about this? You want to know who's my favorite SMP artist?
Yeah.
And we're gonna leave it at that. Manila Mujda from Seattle SMP.
Manila
Yeah, from Seattle SMP.
I'm not familiar with this person.
Well, she
Manila?
is one of the most humbled, low-key artists. But when I tell you that this lady does damage, like she's working and she's just in the cut, looking at all of us and our egos, talking shit. And she's like, I don't want no part of this. I'm just doing my thing. She's it. Manila Mujda, Seattle SMP.
Maybe I'll probably, as
She's
soon as I see it, I'll recognize
yeah,
it.
you will. Definitely
Okay.
will. But yeah, so you got Lana, then you got her. Um, you know what? Katie is
Eddie
actually
Huber
really
is a
dope
beast.
too.
She's a beast.
She's in Canada. She's in Toronto, I believe.
Yeah.
She's dope. And then the last one is David Santiago with Scalp Solutions, man. That guy's
Nice.
he's doing pretty well for himself.
No, that's great. That's a great list. I normally don't ask people that, but you've talked to so many people. I figured I'd
Yeah,
ask.
and it's hard because there are a lot of really good artists, but I have to give you the ones that have paved the way for me, especially in New York. You know, they gave me something to aspire to.
Yeah.
And
No.
I'm okay with that because I'm not an egotistical prick, man. I'm cool with giving people their flowers when they deserve it. It does nothing to me. I'm not worried about, oh, someone's gonna listen to this and they're not gonna come to you. Now they're gonna go to Jonathan, or they're gonna, hey, all right,
No,
cool,
they're
bro.
not. No, they're not. Dave's just saying this is who he likes. I
Yeah,
mean,
this is what it
but you're
is.
right. People will think that. I totally agree with you.
No, but some artists, I mean, you yourself said you don't normally ask that because why? You don't know. I was like, I don't want to do that. You know,
Yeah,
I'm the best. I'm the best. No, you're not, bro. Shut up.
I know. I mean, I like all those people you referenced, but some of I'll go international. You're like, oh, quick side note. You remind me of like asking the New Yorker the best rapper. They're gonna say the New York rapper,
Yeah, of course, bro.
but
Listen,
a lot of them
all
are.
day, bro. All day. That's how I roll, bro. Listen, man.
No, all of them are phenomenal. I agree.
But even though my selection is New York based, you talking about you I listed the two dudes that are responsible for this whole industry.
I know. I know.
Think about it.
Yeah.
If we didn't have Jonathan and we don't have Matt, what's
Yeah.
SMP?
We'd still probably be on a slow plane moving upward.
Let's be serious. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? Let's be serious.
I really like Mark Allen's work, and I know you're a big
Oh,
fan
Mark
of
is
Mark.
phenomenal artist, bro.
Yeah.
He was like the first dude to ever like really bless a natural hairline. I remember dudes like, how does he do it? This is Photoshop, and he was producing shit that looked like it was AI, and we didn't even have AI.
And
Mark
he
is a
doesn't,
beast.
and he's like, he doesn't even care about the rest of the industry. He just does his thing. You
He
know what I mean?
doesn't, man. I love the conversations that I've had with him. He has that absolutely no fucks attitude, and he's got a great story. I won't tell the names, but I have to share this with you, right? So I'm talking to him. I also interviewed him as well too, and he's like, this artist that going around saying he's the best in the world and has the most clients done in the world, all this other BS. He reaches out to me and tells me, hey man, I really would love to fly out to you so that you can teach me. And he goes, you know what I fucking told him? Like, don't you already have all the clients in the world and you're the best in the world? Why the hell you want to come to me? And I was like, that's a good clap back. Because sometimes some of these cats, they gotta be put in their place where it's like, bro, calm down.
Yeah.
He gave that person that, and that just a testament to like the kind of dude that he is. Like, he really doesn't give a shit.
Yeah. I think Mark is your favorite SMP artist. He's one of.
Yeah, definitely, for sure. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, if you're going overseas like that, right, you got to talk about Paul Clark, right? Because Paul
Paul
Clark, I
Clark's a
mean,
fucking beast, and
you
he
can't.
started the 3-session timeline.
Yeah. He's responsible for the SMP that we know now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. England reminds me of like Florida having so many artists, except they're all really good. You know what I mean?
That's true.
There's like 12 artists that are like phenomenal in England. Like, I'm dead
What's funny?
serious.
They are really good artists. But what's funny about England is they're so not accepting of the Western culture, especially when it comes to SMP, because it's like everybody's SMP is like, yeah, that shit looks that's ass, because we like a little more profound, more pronounced hairline sometimes.
They hate
You
the
know what
hard
I mean?
hairline. They hate it.
They can't stand that shit, bro. But it's funny because it's like I've spoken to Paul and I tell him, okay, so like in New York, we like the hard hairline. And what's the problem? Like over there, you guys like your nice little widow's peaks, and it is what it is. Nobody's making fun of that shit. Like, let us do our thing, bro.
Yeah.
But they hate it. They hate it.
I guess they don't see the need for it. Yeah, I think it's just different taste, right? Different
For sure. Yeah,
demographic.
it is what it is, bro.
But I agree, Paul's great.
Yeah, Paul's the man. I said, yeah, it all depends where you're going. Because we look at work from artists from Korea, Japan, Vietnam, and we go, oh my God, that's botched work. But if you look at them, that they love it. That's what they do. That's what they want. And who are we to actually say, oh, that looks like shit?
Yeah, I agree. It's just like different countries, I guess, and different cultures have a different technique and a different way that they want it to look. Because I have people come in and say, I want it super, super light. And then I have people say, I want it really, really dark, to the point where I don't want to go any darker, but they're
Right,
like
right.
begging it.
They're adamant about that shit.
Yeah.
Who was it that told me? There was an artist I spoke to offline. He goes, Dave, do you think during the Renaissance era or whatever, not even the Renaissance era, my bad. He goes, do you think Picasso and who was the other artist in his time? Monet, like looked at each other's art and said, yo, that shit looks whack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He was like, you think those dudes really looked at, especially when you think about the kind of art that they produced, right? You really think they looked at each other and was like, yeah, Cubism, that shit is stupid. But look what we do.
Yeah.
And his whole thing was like, we care too much about other people's opinions. And yeah, we can to a certain extent, especially with the SMP. But at the end of the day, who are we doing it for, right? It's for the client.
Yeah.
I
The
mean, we don't
paying
have to
customer.
botch them. We don't have to botch them. What I'm trying to say is we don't need to be looking, I don't need to be looking at Joey Dodge and going, oh, look at Joey's SMP, man. That shit is mad light. That's what Joey does. It is what it is.
Yeah. Everybody. And you also have to factor in age, right? So the older person usually doesn't want it very dark. At least in a
Yeah.
lot of because their hair might be gray on the side, so they want to go lighter as well.
Well, it depends, man. New York, these dudes, they're pointing on the wall. I want that. It's like, okay.
Oh, I've had that. I've had that.
It's like,
And
I'll
I'll
try
give
my
my
best, sir.
opinion. Yeah, I'll give my opinion to them, but at the end of the day, like you said, they're paying.
Yeah.
So we'll try to work towards their goal,
Yeah, as long as it's not botched, I'm not doing it. I mean, I'll do it as long as it's not botched. Like where I know, like, all right, this is gonna just look like ass. Then I'll be like, all right, I'm not your guy. Go to Jonathan. Jonathan will botch you.
No, he won't. He's joking,
No,
people.
he won't do that. Jonathan won't do that.
Shout out to Jarreau Hair Inc.
Shout out to
And
Jonathan.
shout out to Ink You. Dave, for artists who are getting started, what do you think's like the main thing they should focus on?
Learning the technique. Learning the technique, understanding the fundamentals, learning skin, learning aftercare.
What do you
learning
recommend
how-
for aftercare?
Hustle butter, baby.
Yeah.
The number one. There is no better. Nah, hustle butter. That's what it is. Listen, hustle butter. We got the track record over 10 years experience, and we know. Listen, this was a very strategic partnership. We know that a lot of artists were using the product already. We know a lot of artists were trying to produce product that resembled, hustle butter. So it was only right that we came into the space and did the right thing because, there was a lot of funny stuff happening in the aftercare space. We're being exploited, overpriced products, and we're not, there wasn't good quality ingredients. So we came in to make things right, brother. So yes, that's the number one aftercare right there. Hustle butter, baby. Before, during, and after. It's not only an aftercare. You can use it in process. You can use it before, especially for SMP. Helps condition the skin. Make sure you get that pigment in there. It's going to help with your retention. Trust me, try it. It's absolutely amazing. Try it, like it, love it. If you want more, reach out to me.
Are you giving away free samples?
I'll give you a sample, brother. Of course, I got you, bro.
Yeah, tell them to send it over to me. I'll try it out.
I'll send it over. I'll ship it over. Once we get off, I'll package something for you and I'll send it over.
Appreciate it. How did you get involved with Hustle Butter?
So when I first got into the industry, that's what I was using for aftercare. I mean, there was no other aftercare that you knew about but Hustle Butter. And again, they're also a New York City-based brand. And that's what every tattooer was using around here. And again, at the time, I also came in with the impression that, hey, what I'm doing is a tattoo until I was told that it wasn't. So I behaved the way a tattooer did when it came to aftercare or in-process stuff. So I was using Hustle Butter. And then along the way, you kind of want to start, they start pumping you with industry-specific aftercare stuff. So, you kind of diverted from that. But as I got deeper into the industry and I started trying to create my own my own aftercare brand. I started learning, formulations and talking with scientists and stuff like that. And I was looking at the ingredients that were being included in some of the products that we were being told that we need to be using. And I was like, yo, this is kind of like shit products. So I was kind of like, you know what? Let me try and collaborate with a brand that's already got the experience, the longevity, hundreds of thousands of reviews, whether it be from clients or other artists. And let's see if they want to kind of partner up and kind of introduce this to the SMP and the PMU space. So I sent a couple of emails, nothing. And then I met the owner one day at an event, and I just reached, I asked to speak with him, told him who I was, showed him the work that I was doing. He gave me his business card. I called him. I didn't hear anything for like 2 years, but come to find out the whole time he was actually following me and just seeing what I was creating, with the podcast, with the content, the sponsors. Then he reached out to me and he was like, yo, you ready to work? And I'm like, yo, let's make it happen. And then it was game over from there. Then it was just a matter of introducing the product to the industry, having everyone get acquainted with it, educating, which not many aftercare brands are really putting out educational stuff. It's just more like, hey, buy this for $60 and that's what it is. So that's where we come in. We're loud, proud, and disruptive. And we knew that that's what we were going to do in the space.
Good for you. Congratulations on that, because I know they're a big company, and for you to get in there and also bring the SMP industry into that light, because that also exposes SMP to the tattoo world, because I'm sure on their end, they're also kind of pushing the industry.
When it comes to scalp micropigmentation, you need tools you can trust. That's where InkU SMP products come in. Jade needles are designed for precision and durability, giving you consistent, flawless results every time. Pair them with InkU pigment, a rich, long-lasting formula your clients will love. Keep things smooth with InkU butter, perfect for soothing and protecting the skin. And finish strong with antimicrobial foam cleanser for a clean, worry-free healing process. Ready to take your SMP game to the next level? Visit inkucare.com today. InkU SMP products are made for artists by artists.
Well, yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Even and then that too, when you look at it like that, that was also part of like the push too, was to also kind of help get the industry in the eyes of a bigger demographic. That's always been kind of like my role. Even when I started the podcast initially, I was just like, man, not only do I want to create awareness for myself, but I want to be able to kind of be one of those people in the industry that kind of legit helped create awareness for the industry, not necessarily pushing the industry forward, but create the awareness. So even, the partnering with them, that also, you know, added some push to it as well too, because like you said, now you're going to have traditional tattooers who are like, oh shit, I didn't even know this SMP thing exists. And now they want to get down with training and stuff like that, XYZ. Same thing crossing over into the PMU space.
Yeah, I think everybody wins, and it's a good product from what I hear. I know Jessica got on board as well, and she loves
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
A
Yeah,
good
yeah. Jessica came down to NYC while I was there. I was their first and only SMP artists at the time, sponsored, um, in one of their big events, the booth of all the tattooers. So while just there, she came down, she got to chop it up. I introduced her to the owners, they asked questions, saw her work, and then they were like, yeah, we're gonna move forward with her too.
and she's in England, so, that
Yeah,
helps.
she's on the other side. She's on the other side of the world. I told her, listen, I got this side. You take care. You worry about that.
Yeah, I'm happy for both of you. Can
Thank you,
you
brother. I
talk
appreciate it.
can you talk about the events, like the live events, the classes and workshops that help push the industry forward? Do you think they're helping, or do you think we need more of them?
Mm. Live events that help push the industry forward. I mean, I think any event. Oh, fuck, bro. Let me put this one
Go ahead, take your time.
the right way. It depends, because what you have to understand is, for the most part, what the industry has evolved into is solely a money making industry. And what I mean by that is, you, Joey, me, as artists, we're never going to be treated as artists. We're always going to be the consumer. They want us to primarily purchase. So when they put on these events, they're not giving us a lot of tools that we essentially need to be successful. Although they say that they not. But the reality of it is they just want that big fat ticket up front.
Mhm.
So I'm saying that to say this. If there's an event that is actually bringing real value and it's not just, oh, Joey, give me, $2,000, and you're gonna be a speaker. You can talk about anything you want, Joey. Matter of fact, you know what? We want you to talk about sneakers and why they're so important to use them in SMP, especially when you're standing up. And you go, all right, great. I just got to give you $2,000 and I get the stage for 45 minutes.
Mhm.
Like, I don't see things like that that are beneficial to the industry, because now you got the young guys that think, oh man, I'm gonna get to be, I'm gonna get to hear Joey do his thing, and now you're talking about sneakers, and they're like, what the fuck is this, bro? Like, it's the same, or it's the same information over and over. So like the some of the shows, they're not necessarily doing it to put value out there for the artists. They're doing it to just make their pockets fatter. And that's a thing that I just don't like. And this is why I've done something in the aftercare space, because I felt like a lot of the shit that gets thrown out there to the artists is just to exploit us.
Yeah. Little money grab.
It's a money grab. And listen, I don't, as a businessman, right? You can't hate it, right? Because they're making money. But you asked me if it's pushing the industry forward. No, it's not.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, if you had a valuable show
Yeah.
at a reasonable price and you had artists that were actually up there that, you've incentivized them to be valuable, hell yeah, I'll go.
Yeah.
But if I'm a fucking 2-year artist who've only done maybe 30 heads, but because I paid you as the event coordinator, now I get the stage and put myself in a position where I have some authority and respect, and you got to listen to it, and then I don't really have anything valuable to present to you. Who loses out there?
The people
How is
paying.
that pushing the right? How is that pushing the industry forward?
I
We ain't
agree.
pushing shit forward. We pushing them banknotes.
I agree. And I think one of the problems with this is because we don't have an unbiased third party with money who could do this for us. You know what I mean? If we had a third party that was not involved in SMP and they had money and then they could set it up.
I mean, you can, and not all the shows are like that. And I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah,
Some of these
yeah.
shows, they want to have fun. You get, you meet the people that you're with. But you said if I think they're valuable, and I've been going to a lot of them, bro. I mean, when was the last time you went to a show and you left it and you was like, yo, I can't wait to go back to the office and I'm gonna put this play in motion?
Well, when I was at the scalp show, with that Matt had. Oh, okay. Yeah.
I heard it was a good show. It looked like it was an amazing turnout. But I'm just saying, okay,
I think the most value I get from the shows, I love meeting the people. That's probably my favorite part is the networking.
cool.
But I don't want to overpay for networking. I get that. But the most value I get is watching a phenomenal artist like Billy from Sweden.
Yeah.
I got to watch him up close do his thing, and he works pretty much
Okay.
on fair-skinned white people, which to me is the hardest to work on, right?
Got you.
Fair-skinned, freckled white people. So I got to watch him really up close, see what he's doing. When I went to Matt's show, Scalp Micro USA show, getting up close, watching that for me, I learn best by watching up close with someone. So that's what I would want to do more of, if that makes sense. All the other
Got you.
stuff is just extra fun, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
It's a Christmas tree and the rest is decorations.
Yeah, yeah. Something like that.
It is what it is, man.
Yeah.
Like I said, I sometimes the way I see things is a little bit for whoever's listening. You also have to, if you don't know who I am, you also have to consume my content a little bit. I've always been for the underdog. You know what I'm saying? So I'm always going to be that guy that looks at it from the other end, because I know I'm just tired of brands, artists exploiting artists. That's it.
No, I get
There's
that.
there's
I get
ways to
that.
make money without being so excessive with it. You know what I'm saying? And yeah, I can go, I can rant about it, and I don't. I feel like I said what I needed.
Do you want to talk about, are you going to be in any upcoming shows or speaking at any upcoming shows? Do you want to talk about that?
Um, so the SMP Expo for right now, they have me slotted to be a speaker. I'm excited about that because it's a topic that has not been um, spoken about, and I don't even want to say it because then someone is gonna go and
No spoilers. You're good.
chat GBT it, and all of a sudden they're an expert on something, and they don't even have not one of them to prove. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, I can
Yeah.
do this. Um, so yeah, but for the most part, to be honest, like the big push right now is not necessarily pushing David Santiago because I don't like talking just the SMP technique and stuff like that. I enjoy more the business side of things. But if I'm gonna be at a show, more than likely it'll be at a vendor capacity with Hustle Butter, just trying to push the create the awareness for the product for the most part.
Good. Good to hear that. What mindset do you think some of these SMP artists need to work on long term to be successful in this space? I think when they come in, they have one type of they're seeing what we do and they're learning, but I don't think everybody has the right mindset when they get into the SMP industry or PMU industry.
The mindset has to be that nothing in this industry, whether it be S&P or PMU, is gonna come to you overnight, regardless of what ad you've seen, what trainer you've dealt with who told you within a year they made $1 million XYZ. Your mindset cannot be this is going to be fast money, fast success. You need to be in it for the long haul. You need to understand and appreciate that you're going to have to do some reps. You need to know that 1 month you're going to make $1,000. The next month you're going to make $10,000. Then the following month you ain't going to make shit. You need to understand that this journey is like a roller coaster. Is entrepreneurship is no different than any other industry in the world that exists. I know S&P, they love to say that is the only thing that exists that does XYZ. It's booming. It's a multi-trillion-dollar thing. That doesn't mean that you're going to get that bag easy. You're going to have to do the work. So the mindset has to be, I need to be prepared to fucking get punched in the stomach, get back up, get roundhoused in the head, get back up, and then go, oh, okay, I think I kind of got it right now. And then guess who comes from behind you with a fucking DDT? Joey Dots. Boom.
No, you're right. You're right on target. I completely agree.
Yeah. That your mindset's got to be is not going to be easy. It's going to be hard. I like to say when life gets easy, that's when you have a problem. It should always be hard and accept it. It is what it is.
For someone watching and they're a new artist, what do you think? What's your best advice for them to level up? Say they've been in 2-3 years. They're almost hit 100 heads, 150 heads, and they're ready to get to the next level. What do you think they should focus on?
I love this question. This is what you're going to do. Whether it's your first head, your 100th head, your 400th head. As an SMP artist, I know you haven't done this, but is this going to be the best thing you can do for yourself and your business? You're going to find a tattooer in your area that is crazy dope. And then you're going to reach out to them and you're going to go, hey, my name is David Santiago. I love your work. It's amazing. I do scalp micropigmentation. It's kind of a hair loss tattoo. I would love to talk to you for an hour. How much would it cost for that? And then you're going to set up that meeting. You're going to sit down with them and you're going to run by him every single thing that you learned in your fundamentals training or along your journey. And you're going to ask him, what do you think? How do you feel about skin? Is this 3-point stretch legit? What's the difference between SMP ink and tattoo ink? How do you deal with yellow undertones? How do you deal with dark skins? X, Y, Z. Ask them all those questions. What do you suggest for aftercare? How long have you been tattooing? How many tattoos have you done? Wow, that's amazing. You've been doing this for 25 years. You must know skin. Why do you apply this before you don't? Ask all those questions. I guarantee you, you're going to have an aha moment. And when you come back to work, you're going to be a beast.
That's great advice. That's really good advice. Yes. If you could do that, I completely agree with what Dave said.
Yeah, why not? I mean, at the end of the day, guys, what we are doing is a tattoo. I know that there's a big gap between the tattooer community and SMP community because we want to say different kinds of professionalism, cultures, and stuff like that. Okay, fine, I get it. You don't need to bring in or behave yourself the way that they do. I'm not saying that is bad, but at the end of the day, if there's anybody that knows skin, it's them. Why not tap in with them? And guess what? They're not going to charge you $5,000 like an SMP artist is either. They're probably going to tell you, yo, bro, buy me a fucking sandwich and a coffee and shit, bro. We could talk all day.
Yeah,
Big
agreed.
difference.
I think one of the fears, and I completely agree with you, Dave. That's really solid advice. I think one of the fears that people might not want to do that, they'll think, if I tell him I'm doing SMP and he's already a tattoo artist, now they're going to try and steal my job and becoming an SMP artist. You know what I mean? But in
Hey,
my,
that's life.
but also, but this is how I see it, because I've done SMP on actual tattoo artists, and to me, it's boring. Doing SMP to them is boring. It's not a
Yeah.
dragon. It's not a tiger. We're not doing a portrait.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know
fun.
what I mean?
This shit is so boring and mundane to them. You know how many tattoo artists I've had up here who tell me, hey man, do you mind if I shadow you? What do you charge for that? I'm like, nah, it's cool, bro. Just come check it out. Cause I already know. They look at me for about 45 minutes and they're like, fuck this, bro. Dab it up and they bounce.
Yeah.
And so what? Even if they do now want to go and learn, guys, it doesn't matter. You got to get rid of that mindset, man. You're going to have competition everywhere. And if you don't believe it, go to the fucking supermarket, go into the bread aisle. And do you think that Dave's Killer Bread is looking at Wonder Bread and going, I'm not going to start this business because Wonder Bread's got fucking 18 different kind of flavors. And now you got the Italiano, the other one. You think these people are thinking like that? No, but yet we do. Oh, the competition, bro, that's life. If you don't compete, you ain't going to do shit with anything that you try to advance with, bro. That's just what it is. Okay, now he took your technique, and now guess what? Now how do you differentiate yourself from him, the tattoo artist that just learned SMP? What are you gonna do different?
Preach it, Dave. Preach it. I agree. I agree.
Get mad, bro. Nah,
You've got to get mad. You ever seen
gotta
that?
get
that
angry.
clip?
Who's that?
It's from an old movie. It's a side note.
You gotta now you gotta clip it. Now everybody wants to see
You've
the
got to
clip.
get mad. It's about this guy getting angry. It's like a 1970s movie.
All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value.
What else do you want to say, Dave? And I, again, appreciate you doing this.
Final thoughts?
Yeah.
Leave your ego at the door. You're not a Hollywood superstar. You just do head tattoos. Shut the fuck up and change people's lives. Make them feel good. Make your money. Go about living your life. Nobody needs to see and hear about that shit. We don't care.
And how can people find you?
www.scalpsolutionsny.com. On socials, all of them is at Scalp Solutions NY. And if you want to reach out to me directly, 845-245-6131. I make sure I give the business number. I'll give the personal one. Forget it.
Boom. Thank you, Dave. Stay on here.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Appreciate you guys.
Daddy.